welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary. Today's video is going to be part 2 of my semester 1 reflection as a nursing student at Johns Hopkins. So without further ado, let's get started. The 3 things I'll be going over today are the classes that I took for semester 1, what they entailed, which ones had labs, and any tips, and what grade I ended up getting. I want to be transparent with it. The second thing I'll be talking about are all the extracurricular activities that I was involved in for semester 1 and how that might have impacted my grades or impacted my learning process. And the third thing I'll be going over are the things I would do differently. So I do have my iPad here because I can't remember it just off the top of my head. So the 6 classes you'll be taking for semester 1 is Common Health Alterations, which is paired with a clinical on Tuesdays, Foundations of Nursing, which has a lab component, Health Assessment, which also has a lab component, Pathophysiology, Professionalism in Nursing, and a 6-week course called Community Outreach. So depending on what half of the cohort you're in, you'll have it the first 6 weeks of the semester or the last 6 weeks of the semester. So for Common Health, I heard a lot of mixed experiences, mixed feedback with clinical. My clinical instructor was amazing. She really wanted to challenge us to do more things than the bare minimum. So she encouraged us and pushed us to, offer to help. If it's a patient who we're not assigned to, just go help them, or to ask the nurse if you can help them, to really just invest as much as we can into it so that we can get as much back. So for my experience, it was really good. I was at the Johns Hopkins Hospital as a med-surg floor, so there was a lot of things that I was able to see, and it was really intimidating at first to start right away in a clinical setting, just because I didn't have any healthcare background. But I think that's actually what really made me feel comfortable in that role as a nursing student, because they just kind of pushed us in there as soon as we started the program. So I actually really like that approach, hindsight. First day of class or first week of class, I did not like that idea. I promise if you're nervous about it, you'll be fine and it'll be great. The first class that you'll be taking, I believe it's on Mondays at 8 a.m., is Foundations of Nursing. So Foundations of Nursing is obviously very important because, as it says in the title, it's Foundations of Nursing. It is a flipped classroom, so you watch the lectures ahead of time and then you come to the scheduled class prepared. I did find that this particular class, they tended to re-lecture. They might add some new details here and there, but it was kind of more like a re-lecturing. It is definitely good for people who need that extra repetition and reinforcement of the concepts. I personally didn't feel that need, so I would go in supplementally if I felt like I needed extra help with a certain topic. But 8 a.m. on a Monday morning was kind of tough. There is a lab component with this Foundations of Nursing class. I will say that I also got mixed feedback with lab components. Just know that the lab instructors are going to be from all different walks of life and all different backgrounds of nursing, so they might not necessarily be the best equipped instructor to be teaching Foundations of Nursing skills. Just be understanding and just prep however best you can for yourself before you go into lab, and give constructive feedback if necessary. Health assessment class was really hard, but really so very, very necessary. For Foundations of Nursing, I did not get the textbook. I didn't feel the need to get the textbook because it was very slide-based. Health assessment, I did get the textbook. So definitely get the textbook, in my opinion, for health assessment, because there's so many details that you'll miss out that they don't include in the lectures. And so it's really important to have that. And health assessment is a huge component of nursing practice, right? You have to be able to assess patients properly. So I think for that class, definitely get the textbook. The lab, I would say, feels a lot longer than necessary. They don't usually let you out early, so just be prepared to have a long lab day when you have health assessment lab. Pathophysiology was probably the hardest class first semester. It's not just going into kind of the basic anatomy and physiology that you should have taken for prerequisites, but kind of like the disease processes of those different systems. So it goes into deep details of different conditions, whether it's diabetes or COPD, cancers, all sorts of stuff. And it's very important. I feel like for that class, you definitely need to go to the class as well as go to the class prepared for the lecture. Sometimes they kind of like re-lecture, but they will also do case studies during that scheduled time. So it's so important to just kind of be prepared for that so you get the full benefit of that class. So definitely invest lots of time into pathophysiology. Professionalism in nursing, I had online. I don't remember if that was an option, whether to be online or not, but I was online, and it was interesting because each week was a little bit different. They would bring in different speakers or different guests, or even patients who have gone through the healthcare system to just kind of share their testimony and things like that. It was an informational class. I do feel like it didn't necessarily have to be a full 12-week course, but I digress. And as I mentioned before, community outreach is going to be the last course that you take in semester 1, and that was 6 weeks, and I had it for the first 6 weeks, and it did feel a little bit more like burdensome with like the extra course load, but it was, again, it was informational. There was a lot of emphasis on social determinants of health, so you will definitely, if you don't know that term, you will definitely know it by the end of semester 1. So the second thing that I want to talk about are the extracurriculars that I was involved in during semester 1. So I got plugged into SNA as the event coordinator, and that took up most of my time, but I really love it. I love the community of the e-board members and just all the opportunities that the organization has for the students. I was also briefly involved with FCN, so the Fellowship of Christian Nurses. It became a little bit harder just because they were meeting at the end of a really long day, and so I would just kind of get tired, or I wanted to take that extra time to study. So it did get I did kind of start skipping a little bit towards the end there, but they're also a really great group if you want to be plugged in, if that is something up your alley. I think those were really the only 2 big ones on campus. And then I also joined a ballet studio just to have this extra, like this separate creative outlet, and I think that's really important to find if you are that type of person that needs something like that. Nursing school is going to be a lot. It's going to be very heavy workload, and you know, you're going to be studying a lot, but you want to have something to kind of treat yourself, something that you really truly enjoy freely. So for me, it was ballet, adult ballet classes, so that was also fun to just see how I progressed. One thing I would do differently is try to really get engaged with all the people on the cohort. Our cohort was really big. It was over 150 people, and we got split in half based on last names for the different sections of classes, and I feel like I didn't get to know any of the people in the other half, and even in the half that I was a part of, it was just so big, I didn't get to know a lot. And so now in second semester, there's people that I meet through IPE or other classes, and I'm like, I did not know you existed. I did not know you were even a nursing student. So that's something that I would definitely try to do, whether it's going to the on-campus events that are usually just kind of open to everyone, and just kind of pushing myself out of my comfort zone and not just staying within my group. But yeah, that's something I would do differently. And oh no, actually another thing, get into a good study routine. You definitely have to be prepared, watch your lecture videos before the scheduled time, and then be present, be there. Don't be working on other things on your laptop. Be there at the scheduled time, and also after that, after the class, reinforced by just reviewing everything that you learned that day. So those 3 things I think I would try to incorporate into my study routine for my first semester, because I'm trying to incorporate in my second, and there's just so many things going on, so it's a little bit difficult. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful for you, make sure to like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!